Then they get wider and wider apart as they walk along the top of the logs toward me. And it's reddish gold eyes, like kind of piercing, looking down at me. And I'm standing there, and I'm taking it up to I get about 15 feet away from me. I'm looking this really large Bigfoot. And I say, look at the time. I didn't want to scream and run off and act like a chicken. And I said, look at the time. And, I'd like to stick around. I got things to do. And I said, but if you hang around here, I'll be back. And I got in my car and took off. Well, when I came back, they were gone. But I really missed the opportunity to really have the courage to have one come right up to me and shake my hands or hug me.
Well, I
missed that opportunity.
Yeah, but what you're doing is a lot more braver than I sure was. Hey, we're going to go on for a break. I'm going to put you on hold here for 3 minutes, and we'll be back.
Okay.
We're going to be talking to Samantha Ritchie again about all this cool stuff in about 3 minutes, so hang on.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you. If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you. Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
Check out Night Dreams' website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com.
You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
Well, that is me. It's about time to get your cup of coffee, refilled with that Java, or hot cocoa in my case. We got Samantha Ritchie. We're talking about cryptids, Bigfoot, and all this stuff. Hey, Samantha, are you still there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're back.
Absolutely.
So you were gonna that one story you were gonna talk about before we went on break.
Yep. Yeah, that was the one I just mentioned before. Where they showed up in the yard, and it's just you're basically watching in the strip of woods, just seeing a group of them, or at least one or two of them, were looking through the window, and there was the flickering of the TV, and the window was open, so. Not the window, but the glass was, they could see the TV, basically. So, do Bigfoot like to watch TV? I guess they do. When they're hanging around in the neighborhood, just open the back window of your house, facing the woods, and turn on your TV, and just kind of just wonder if they're out there looking.
Yeah,
Because, but like I said, it was just, that was and I've already mentioned, just in the course of the last hour, just imagine, I just mentioned just a handful of different over-the-top experiences I endured. I don't want to say endured, that ain't experience. I didn't make it sound like something bad happened to me. It wasn't. And then finally, having this huge, very tall being, with Bigfoot, with the big glowing reddish gold eyes just looking down at me, and then kind of missing that opportunity to really make a direct first contact. And I'm sure, but I will say that the minute I showed some kind of, you would think that it was, if it was malevolent, it wouldn't approach me in a slow manner, because as he was coming across logs toward me, after I encouraged him, I invited him to come toward me. You see, he did it very slowly, and when I had that hesitation in my voice, made sure he stopped. He hesitated too. You could see because the eyes just stopped, and then I took off. And I just kind of had a feeling that it was sadness on his part that we would view them that way, that we would be scared, we have fear. That seemed to stay with me, that I missed this opportunity because I allowed fear to really override an opportunity. I don't think, because I didn't have fear, I don't think there would have been anything bad happen, okay? It was just that fear that we're conditioned with all our lives, the fear, the unknown, and it just, you don't realize how much it just kind of permeates your being, until you start getting to situations like that. Of course, we did talk about, there's a balance about safety, but I'm in my own yard. It wasn't a cougar. I mean, cougars aren't 10 foot tall, and nothing's going to be 10 foot tall except maybe a Bigfoot. And if I'm in the woods or in my yard and it's dark, I think I worry more about animals than I do a Bigfoot, because I know the Bigfoots will not hurt me. Okay. So that was an experience. It was, and all these things happening in a 2-year period, 2014, going into, it actually started in 2013 with the house, and also 13, 14, 15, and then we go into the next level. Okay, it just gets better with time. And that's where we're going to go now, is where this all is going to take us here. So when we get into 2015, I mentioned that the amazing experience of the light beams, the portal. I call it a portal, but it was a light structure that incidentally, in the aura of a light structure, incidentally, even though I didn't bring any recording equipment, when I went back up there about a week and a half or 2 weeks, I think it was about a week and a half later, went to the same spot where I noted that the light structure was, and I found a perfect triangle cut into the ground, seared off everything that was on the ground down to about 1 inch. It seared across roots, it seared across rocks, almost like a laser had just shaved it clean. And you know what? Nobody's going to be up there doing that.
No.
It's grown back since. Obviously, it only took about a year, but it was right in the same spot. So the invisible part of what was it? The invisible part of the structure that actually was I actually seeing perhaps an invisible ship, but the only visible parts were these light beams, and that the landing pad was invisible too, and it was it was triangular and set on the ground. Or was it when the whole structure took off, it took part of the ground with it? But I do have, and that's in that I do have that picture. That was that's on my physical. That's my pictorial evidence of that. Okay. So, as I said, when it got into almost the next year, it was almost August of the following year, 2015. Again, someone's trying to call, but they are not going to get my answer here. You're not hearing that tone, are you?
No, I don't hear the tone. It just
okay,
goes
good.
click.
It's just I don't even know why I get that on here. But anyway, it was August of 2015. I decided, now's the time to really talk about this. I'm not going to about the portal, about this light beams and orbit. I said I really need to do it. So I figured what I'd do is go back up to the Field of Dreams, go back up the trail up this, and basically do a walkthrough of what happened. So take my camera this time, motion picture, on video, and just simply walk through and reproduce everything that happened to me as I walk through it and describe it. The exuberance or the euphoric feeling, the wind blowing, get down to the end, turn the camera, turn my video camera around, and then capture it coming back down, and then point it at the area where that portal was, or the light beams and all that, and then basically just talk about it. And I did do a simulation of it too with the video. So I did all that, okay, and I posted it on YouTube. You wouldn't think that one thing leads to another, but in my case it just does. A viewer on YouTube says, "Hey, but what about that big being that was standing behind the tree when you were talking about it?" So what are you talking about? I had to go back and look at the video again, okay? And what happened was I go look, and it says, I had to stabilize it a little bit. There's something that's shape-shifting behind the tree. And it starts out, it looks like a gray alien, then it shape-shifts into a different head. And honestly, if I can give this link right now, this is where I'm going to pull in some of the pictures that if someone is listening, that they can go to my website while I'm talking about this and actually view the pictures. If you go to Planet Sasquatch, just one word, planetsasquatch.wordpress.com /show/, okay? Or if you're on your phone and you go planetsasquatch.com, just go to where the link, where the main menu where it says show slides, and pull up that page. And I'll be able to describe exactly what's going on here because I have the pictures. Yeah, I do have the pictures of these beings, too. But anyway, on these slides, basically, I have, I captured the video, and I've enhanced it since. I've done everything I can to get the lighting just right where you can see it and everything. But you see it actually changing. It's shape-shifting. And if someone goes to my site right now, if they go to the second slide down where it's shape-shifting entity, also in the Field of Dreams, it's the number 2 picture, and it shows it's pretty evident. You could actually see the facial features and everything right smack in the middle of this. Very alien looking too. Okay. Now I'm thinking, is this Bigfoot? I don't know, but it shape-shift. It changed form. So that was just kind of like, are you kidding me? here I am talking about something else, and then something else shows up. I mean, what are the odds of something like that happening?